The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2024 summer edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my good friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk about the businesses to the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and all those people that are business-friendly organizations. We talk to all of them. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and you can see us on YouTube as well. You can see Steve over there doing silly things. Sort of like having a kindergarten class in the background.
I loved kindergarten. They had a sand table.
Yes.
Well, a sand table in the corner, and it was.
You didn't get much beyond that intellectually,
no,
so I can see.
I'll tell you, life was easier then, you know. And you used to take a nap. They lay down a little mat.
Coloring books. You could eat the crayons, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Fun stuff. Well, folks, we're back together again. As you can tell, we've had a couple of hosts in there, co-hosts,
Yes.
And we had some fun with that, but now we're back and flying the plane straight for just a little bit.
Is that what? Flying it straight?
Flying it straight.
Is that an accusation?
It's not hitting anything that we know of. Yeah. And we got a good show for you, too. Dr. Nicole Anzalone is going to stop by, and she's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Mike Albanese is the owner of Albanese Longhorns, and he's part of Onondaga Grown, so that'll be an interesting conversation. Sheila Ostrom will stop by, the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. Scott Jones, who actually went to high school with my wife. They're good old friends. Owner of Northside Collision. Sean Dupree, the owner of Top Notch Roofing. And then Jerome Snyder stops by. We'll talk bugs because he owns Pestmaster Services. And Luis Colon Torres is the owner of Luis Colon Torres Enterprises, which includes the Guadalajara restaurant. And he'll stop by for an interesting conversation. And he owns a couple other restaurants as well. Right now, we say a hearty, healthy good morning to Dr. Nicole Anzalone. How are you?
Good morning. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
I got a thing in my ear. Do people say that to you a lot? Hey, I got a thing in my ear.
They say that they feel like they have something in their ear. Yeah.
Can you get any acne or little things that happen inside, just outside the ear canal, or you know what I mean? When you go in there and you can feel it.
You could get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you can.
Same as on your skin, you know.
Yeah, right. Because I have something. It's like it's painful, and I looked. I have the light from my phone, and I'm kind of looking, and I think it's just like a little pimple that is on the inside.
YouTube listeners, we're not showing this, just to be clear.
I'm not the pimple popper.
You don't do that. And you should tell people it's been a little while since you've been on. You have a burgeoning business. A lot of business. So tell people where your locations are and, how you got to own this thing.
Yeah, so I own two practices, one on the east side of town in Fayetteville, one on the west side of town in Camillus. Mm-hmm. And I started out, it was 2010 when I officially opened my Camillus office, and we've been growing ever since. I started, with a master's in neuroscience and then my doctorate in audiology. And ever since then, I always wanted to help people hear better. I want to help diagnose and treat hearing imbalance disorders. It's life-changing for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't realize how important it is to hear in their daily lives. Their communication, it affects their health in general, balance, and even if you treat it, decreasing number of falls potentially. So it's very, very important. There's a lot of connections to things like dementia that we're finding out about and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important to hear better. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. And who comes to your practice? Like, why would someone come to an audiologist?
Anyone who has hearing problems, feels like there's something wrong with their ears, if they have tinnitus or tinnitus, like ringing in their ears or balance problems, I could diagnose hearing imbalance problems. So, and treat them and help them.
So why not, hey, we're running a sale here for $19.99. You can, on TV, you can get double ear hearing aids, and we'll do it all. I see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so those are called over-the-counter hearing aids or OTC or hearing aids. The problem with those is that they're really amplifiers. If the device does not know what your hearing loss is, they're just going to make things louder or softer. A lot of people don't realize that with damaged ears, with hearing loss, you have to process the sounds a little bit differently because the ears are not hearing normally. So with prescription hearing aids, we fine-tune them with different types of processing in the devices to help maximize what you're hearing. And you really have to fine-tune and tweak it. And a professional is better at doing that than just an over-the-counter.
So are you saying, let's pretend I can't hear high, or I can hear middle, or I can't hear low. You turn up the one that is in a deficit and then leave the others? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Exactly. So it's a prescription. So basically you're trying to not over or under amplify different parts of the ear, and also change frequencies, because if there's parts of the ear that are missing sounds, you have to shift the sound into areas where they have more usable hearing. So these are things that you can do with modern technology, which really helps. And it's interesting because we do speech tests. So we do all this, and then we test some word lists, and then the patients actually score better on these word tests afterwards.
Is it true that the tests are very painful?
No, not at all. Not at all. Basically, you're just hearing what you hear and letting us know, and it's pretty easy testing. It's very, very harmless.
Tom and I did it. Tom, remember?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did very well.
Right. So, aside from the actual hearing tests like that, I know that you do some cognitive testing as well. How does that relate to hearing, cognitive function?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research out now about the relationship between early cognitive decline and untreated hearing loss. So we know that when someone is not hearing for a long period of time, it's sensory deprivation, and it deprives information to the brain. So what can happen is it changes our memory. It changes how we perceive sounds and input in our environment. So it really changes the brain. And they've done all sorts of fMRI studies to look at how the brain changes it anatomically as well as physiologically. So that's why we do cognitive testing or screenings, just to see what the relationship is. And it's interesting because you could see an improvement on cognitive tests with when a patient decides to wear hearing aids, and if they're wearing them consistently. So it can help memory. It reduces the fatigue on the brain.
Nice. How about the new technology? Anything new on the horizon that you're seeing for 2024, 2025 in the way of hearing aids?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, they're getting smaller, more discreet, and smarter. A lot of the technology inside is using AI now to decide and look for different patterns of what would be considered noise and what would be considered speech, to clean up the signal even more, to make it easier for people with hearing loss to hear better. So they are decisive in what sounds and speech they're looking for, which is really interesting.
So if they want a doctor of audiology and they don't want to order before midnight tomorrow and buy one, get one free, and they want to have a professional like we would with any other part of our body.
Right, it's your healthcare.
It's our healthcare. SyracuseHearingSolutions.com. There's all kinds of information there. You get great reviews. You go online, people talk about you all the time, and they say good things. I don't know why, but they do. 468-2985, 468-2985. Dr. Nicole, Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mike Albanese is coming up next. He's the owner of Albanese Longhorns and part of Onondaga Grown, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.